Being the very financially responsible person that I am, I spent around £100 on 15 or so games during the Steam summer sale. I would have spent more as well if I hadn't already spent the majority of my paycheck on more plushies for my collection. Finance aside though, I am really enjoying the games that I have bought and plan on making more videos for another few of them in the near future. This video is going to be the first of a few short entries in which I will stray away from covering the whole game, but instead cover a small segment in an attempt to convince you, the viewer, to play the game yourself. The subject of today's video is Look Outside, a pixelated turn-based horror game. I know that the words turn-based can throw people off instantly, and I don't blame you, but I personally don't mind it nearly as much as I used to, and it isn't the only gameplay mechanic that this game has to offer. For this video, I will only be reviewing the best parts of the opening sequence of this game, as if I show too much I feel as if some of you may not feel the urge to play it for yourselves anymore, which would go against the whole point of this video. But this intro is already long enough for a short video, so without any more waiting, here is why you should buy Look Outside. The game opens with ominous strings of text saying that you had strange dreams, with a familiar voice beckoning you to your window. This is followed by a metaphor for something supernatural, with stairs leading into the night sky and awakening from your sleep as you figuratively ascend them. As you wake up to the constant ticking of your clock, you gain a strange urge to look outside. But before you can, an eyeball stalking you from your wall starts talking to you. They warn you against making the same mistake as they did of looking outside and introduce themselves as your neighbour, Sybil. If curiosity does get the better of you and you do decide to look outside your window, this happens. Whilst lasting less than a second, it sets a standard for what we can expect from this game: body horror. Nothing absolutely gut-wrenchingly grotesque, but enough to make us feel uncomfortable. Following this, you can explore your apartment and interact with the various objects around the room. You learn a little more about what the game will be like as you can do things such as play games, cook meals and avoid taking showers, seeing various stats such as hygiene and morale go up. But sooner or later you will realise the only way to progress is to go outside your apartment. Upon exiting, you can immediately tell that something is horribly wrong. There's a massive blood trail, a door is blocked off with a fleshy substance, and a danger meter appears at the bottom of your screen. A couple of newspapers line the floor further on, one interactable one revealing that they had come from before this all started. Using a bit of common sense, we can deduce that something outside is making people turn into monsters. Yet another completely original idea which I cannot find any inspirations for. Following the blood trail into the only apartment with no door, you find a room with a static television and floorboards missing. At first, I tried to continue following the trail into another room, but the game wouldn't let me without equipping a weapon, all but confirming this was going to be the first combat encounter. After equipping the weapon, you enter the bathroom, finding the wounded neighbour. There's a noticeably large slash on their chest. You can say one of four things: "Are you hurt?" "I can help," "I don't want trouble," or "stay away." Although, ultimately, any of them will lead to the same outcome of them saying they saw it, whilst concealing something behind their back, and finally brandishing a knife. There are two buttons available, either fight or escape, but the escape option is blocked out, forcing you into combat. You and the wounded neighbour take turns attacking, and then, in gory fashion, the wounded neighbour will start stabbing at his own wound, prompting the dialogue of them saying, "It's in the way. I can't see anything." A short cutscene then plays after another turn of combat. The body horror of this game is as grotesque as it is awesome. Seriously, when I went into this game, I was expecting mid-quality attempts at gore, but was pleasantly surprised by my first impression. It only gets better as the game progresses as well. But, as much as this was cool to see, I did get a little concerned upon seeing body horror. The thing is, I went into this game expecting a scary experience, but the unfortunate reality is that a lot of media just overutilises gore in an attempt to be scary. If anything, body horror and gore are more unsettling than scary, and an excuse to be classified as horror without trying too hard. So, as good as this pixel art is, I left the battle feeling ultimately worried for what was to come. until that happened. Any worry that I had instantly left my body, and I realised that this wasn't a gore baits game, it was actually going to be scary. That jump scare got me so bad that I flung my mouse across my desk, as you can see in the footage. It completely removed any form of doubt that I had for the game going forward and made me excited for what was to come, which I won't be spoiling any further for you guys, as this video is to convince you to play the game yourselves as opposed to intensely reviewing it. I would greatly recommend this game to anybody who somehow enjoys turn-based combat, exploration on a smaller scale, pixel art and or horror games. There's so much more to come which I would show you, but I honestly feel that keeping this video short would be better so you can experience it yourselves. It's £9 on Steam, roughly $12, and worth every penny of it. With that being said, this will be the first of 5 videos in which I try to convince you guys to purchase the same games that I did on the Steam summer sale. I'll try upload weekly, although no promises as I am having an intense repo addiction at the moment. With that being said though, I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.